Now, tributes continue to come in and pour in for former Mamelodi Sundowns defender Anele Ngcongca. The soccer star unfortunately died in a car crash in KwaZulu-Natal on Monday morning. He was recently released by Sundowns to play for AmaZulu. Former teammates from Belgian side Tumelo Mothotoane and Kevin De Bruyne spoke fondly of the defender. Al Ahly president Mahmoud El Karib as well had sent condolences to his family. But let's now talk about the life and times of Anele Ngcongca with his sister, Siyasanga Ngcongca. Siyasanga, thank you so much for your time. We can only imagine, how difficult it is to speak to us at this time. But thank you so much for taking this time to talk to us. Good morning to you. I mean, how are you doing? How's the family doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, so much to say. Losing Anela was extremely unexpected, and we still feel that we have to be under a dark cloud. It still doesn't make sense. How does one speak about Anele in the past, and how we move from that? It's still dark for us. It's still a dark day for us.
Yeah.
And I think more than anything, experiencing a sudden death is always the worst. But we still trust God in the midst of everything.
Absolutely. I know, Siyasanga, that, not only were you close to your sibling, but he equally had a very close relationship with his daughter. Take us through who Anele was as a father.
Anele was a phenomenal man. He was an amazing dad to his child. He loved her dearly, and you could even see with the tattoo that he had on his arm with the theme of birth. Generally, he loved children. He was the best uncle, very affectionate when it comes to his nieces and nephews. And he was loved dearly. The children are really feeling this, and they still do not know how to move forward, losing an uncle like him who loved them dearly, and his daughter more so.
Yeah. And how's Umar doing? How's the family doing? Because when we read about him, as well as those who've had the pleasure and the honor and privilege to work alongside him, they always emphasize that Anele was someone that wanted to make sure that he left enough for the family, he provided for the family, and not just that, but also advising his teammates and his fellow friends within, football to continuously budget, to save, to not spend unnecessarily. How has he as a son to you as a family?
To us as a family, or rather to his mom, or Umama, she is really feeling losing his son. Anele, if anything, his mother was everything to him, his pride and joy. And losing her son and not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, and how not being able to pick up the phone call and call my son again and say, how are you, or did you pray today? So that's how Mama is at the moment. She's not okay. She's still in a lot of shock with the news, but she's a woman of God, and she's a praying woman. So I'm so rooted in the midst of everything, and she knows that in time things will be okay. But this is just one of those difficult hurdles that she has to pass through in life.
Yeah, and indeed, the whole country is sending our condolences to you and the family. We're thinking about you during this time, especially because we know that he had just signed to AmaZulu. I think most of Anele's fans were looking forward to seeing him representing AmaZulu and seeing what legacy he'd leave there. But as a sister, what legacy do you think Anele leaves behind, and how would you like the country to remember him, especially for how and what he has contributed through football?
We'd like him to remember it as a game changer. Anele was a very humble man. He was a man of few words, but he was filled with humanity and love for people at large, for his family, and his soccer fans. So we'd like him to be remembered as the giant that he was. A humble man filled with so much humanity. In as much as Anele was this icon in soccer, but when he meets the ordinary man down the street, the way that he'll relate with that person, spoke volumes about the person that he was. So that's what we want him to remember about. And for a man who came from the dusty streets of Gqeberha and had made it so far in his soccer career, playing for the international, with Greek and European countries. So for us, that's big, and him remaining humble in the midst of all of that.
Yeah. Well, Siyasanga, thank you again for talking to us under these difficult circumstances. We send our condolences here from ENC to you, your family, and all of Anele's loved ones. And, of course, may you find strength during this time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.